is up, you guys? It is your girl Kia Cartel here with a video for my Aqua gang, let alone just anybody else who comes up in here at this point, because I feel like everybody can benefit from just this video and this topic. Everybody can relate. As you see by the title, we are getting ready to talk about how to let go. What I mean by that is how to let go and actually discover a better version of you. A lot of times when people let go, they feel like they are often missing out on something and don't pursue certain things based off of not having certain things or people around. So just to go ahead and get into it, the reason I decided to do this video was to become a little more upfront and personal with y'all. I spend so much time, doing readings and having personal conversations with people, helping them get through their journey and their process. Even though I have my vlog channel where, that's more about my personal life, I feel like these conversations are meant to be on this channel. So I had a dream, girl, last night, okay, that irritated the hell out of me. I also want y'all's opinion on this type of shit too, because one thing that I do have a hard time with, believe it or not, is letting go of specifics. I'm not here to tell you guys to or encourage you to forget, the things that people say or the things that people do. Those are things that you keep in your archive, right? Like those are things that you should just always keep, to the side just in case, because there are some people who are going to change and there are some people who are not. But you don't have to forget, but it's important to forgive, not necessarily for the other person, but for yourself. My dream last night just really put things into perspective for me, because I, for one, know that I am a great friend, and I have put myself in positions to overly extend myself for people who probably in a million years would never, would never in a million years do what I've done for people, help them how I've helped them, and be of support. That is major when it comes down to this whole thing, because I think a lot of us sit and dwell on why people don't support us, and that's not important. It is important to know that you are capable of really getting and succeeding at anything that you want. You don't need people in order to succeed, but you get further with a team. So kind of like a catch-22. There are some people who are just not meant to go on the journey that you are going on and be in the rooms that you are, able to experience. You do deserve to meet the right people who deserve to, meet you. It's all about making sure that you are having good discernment and making sure that you're not putting too much pressure on yourself to have certain things and people in your life, even if it doesn't feel good. I did have some notes on my phone, just, as a guide to how to really let go. So first one is, remember it's okay to outgrow people, places, and things. So it's okay for them to outgrow you too. So again, we talk about that relationship you're in, how good it feels in the beginning, how attracted you are to this person, and slowly over time, whether that's 10 years, 2 years, 20 years, just slowly but surely start to realize that this person isn't exactly who you thought they would be, or this relationship just isn't exactly what you thought it would be. We often get into this place where we're like, damn, I really want to force this to work. I really want to have this conversation. I really need this person to understand this. People don't have to understand shit. And I don't want any of y'all to think that I'm being mean. I say it like that because I know for a fact that I've done it in my life. I've held way too high of expectations for people. I've expected people to just get it because I got it. That's not how this shit works. Really, as you are going through the process of, healing and growing and experiencing things, people are also going through something similar. It may not be the same, but it may be similar. So it may pull them in a different direction, which means y'all have to separate at some point. I know it's hard for my girls out here who got kids. I know it's hard for my married couples who feel like, I really, really feel like I've worked hella hard over the years to make this family work, but at some point you have to really ask yourself, are you happy? At the end of the day, that's what matters. It's not really about the money. Granted, they be like, the money don't buy you happiness. Money get you some places, but I can't do anything unless I'm happy. Every day isn't gonna be the best day. It's like, if I can literally change my happiness in that moment by removing one little thing or one person, baby, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because what I don't have time to do is sit here and force someone to love me, right? I'm not going to force someone to talk to me respectfully, to understand me, to understand my love language. Like, someone who is truly invested in you is going to take the time out to discover those things on their own. I truly believe in all relationships, whether you are intimate with the person or you just are deciding to, branch out and gain new friends. It is, of course, important to initially teach people what it is that is comfortable for you being in your space. But if down the line people decide to go outside of the things that you've already set in place, that is completely up to them. You've given them that outline. It's not up to you to fill in the blanks all the time. So I say that to say, like, everybody is going through something, and I'm not going to be wasting my time forcing anyone to get it. You know what I'm saying? To just fucking rock with me. It don't make sense. By the way, if you are a smoker, okay, I'm talking about weed, but if you got a cigarette, go ahead and, light your cigarette. This is a smoke sesh. Girl, I got so heavy into the topic, I just forgot about my whole vibe. That's number one, right? Remember that you are capable of outgrowing people. You come across soulmates, you come across twin flames, and honestly, you can have several of those, right? But it's just honestly still a matter of who is capable of respecting you, right? I'm big on that. Just to get y'all into what I have going on, because my life is so fucking crazy. I have an ex right now who, for whatever reason, just landed himself in jail. He has a history of being in jail, and our relationship was very, very quick, right? It was one of those things where I didn't spend 2-3 years in a relationship with him, but he was a great person. I quickly outgrew him in the sense of recognizing that mentally and emotionally, we are just not on the same page. He is going through a different type of healing, a different type of inner child growth, right? Like, he's trying to figure out his childhood traumas in a different way than I am, because I think we all have them, but I'm just not capable of helping him really understand why he's going through the things that he's going through in life, because I'm still trying to figure my shit out. So I never forced that. We just lost the connect, and it started to turn me off that our conversations became predictable. I almost knew exactly what he was gonna say, and that's not an issue. I think that that's dope as hell if you're in a relationship where you guys are mentally capable of understanding each other's needs. So sometimes you may finish each other's sentence. You know exactly what that person's favorite food is. You know what that person's favorite color is. You know what triggers them to a certain extent. But what I mean is the negative portion of that. Like, I know that you're gonna say some negative shit because you don't have anything in you that says, you know what, let me actually take the time to acknowledge my responsibility in this situation, how I treat people, how I talk to people. Fast forward, I get a call a couple days ago, saying that he's in jail, they want me to help, and it's like, baby, I can't help you. I can't. You know what I'm saying? If he made the choice to do someone fucked up, or to, if he made that choice to be crazy, he made that choice. I can't go blocking my blessings, by trying to fix someone else's lesson. That don't make no sense, baby. So, Granted, he will always have a friend in me, but we just are not for each other, and I was okay with that. For a minute, I felt bad, like, damn, he's out here, he has no family. You know what I'm saying? My nigga's really out here on his own, but that's not my responsibility either. And I think him being a narcissist and me recognizing those traits allowed me to lift that energy up off me, right? Allowed me to understand, you know what? I am not responsible for how his story goes. It's just not up to me. Pushing forward, y'all. Number 2 is allow yourself to grieve the loss of what you're letting go of. You can't heal what you don't let yourself feel, which is super, super important. I tell people all the time, and I'm sure a few of my subbies can attest, the ones that I've done readings with, people have a hard time feeling. People have a hard time just being one with their emotions. I know a lot of motherfuckers who just won't cry, or so hard body they just won't cry. And I think crying is important. I also think it's a beautiful thing to be able to express yourself in that way, right? To be able to sit and take time and recognize how you feel. I cry when I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I cry when I'm, of course, pissed off. I also cry when I'm sad. You know what I'm saying? So I've learned to recognize my feelings when you just say, you know what, okay, I don't like that. You ball it up and you throw it to the side. That shit is still sitting over there. Not once did you give yourself a chance to see whether or not you can even possibly fix what it is that you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of say, you know what, I'm gonna toss it over there, and that sits and harvest in you as emotion that was never really recognized. Letting go, and I just revert back to this a lot, letting go of relationships is not easy, because at some point you did take the time to really give each person, right, a version of yourself. Don't always give. For me, when I open up to people, it is hard for me to kind of let go of those relationships. I have best friends that I've had to let go, people who have known me since a youngin. She's my ex-best friend now, but I had to let her go because we're just not the fucking same. Like, I really thought for the longest that we were, considering the community we were raised in. Like, we went to the same school for a while, raised in the same neighborhood. Like, at first I didn't recognize how different we were, you know what I'm saying? And now that I'm older, I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? When I gotta get to this point of possibly getting physical with you and we cussing each other out, which best friends do it all the time. I think you should have your days where it's a little rocky. We gonna give each other 24 hours to get it together. But when I pick up the phone and I call you, or you do the same, it should be something that never changes. And I feel like we slowly but surely started to change, right? Like, she just, you know what I'm saying? Granted, she has kids. I feel like she, as a mother, is doing a really great job. But as a person, she is a really fucked up person. And I'm just saying it flat out. I've had to say it like that so many times because of the pain that she has gone through from these niggas, it really changed her whole dynamic on life. And whereas I'm trying to grow and recognize, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna let that be what it be. I am acknowledging my feelings. She would not. It took me a while to get over that friendship, because it's one of those things where she knows me, you know what I'm saying? And I know her, and to meet new people, to me, is not always like my go-to. I could be good at meeting new people, but I'm not as friendly as people would like me to be. And being friendly doesn't mean, oh, let me touch him down his spine. And nah, it's hard for me to open up to people, but I don't have a problem having conversation. I don't have a problem seeing other people's perspective, which she did. And that was just, again, my part of outgrowing people and grieving, right? Those two in one, I had to really go through that process, because if you were to, you know, leave it up to me, it seemed like she just didn't give a fuck about the relationship, or just the friendship that we've built over the years. So once I was able to let that go and not really focus on whether or not she would get it one day, I elevated in a different way, right? It was kind of like every single friend that I get from this point on is going to have that conversation. Look, we either got to be on the same tip, or I just can't do this because of where I'm trying to go, period. Not that you're a bad person. It's not that, you know what I'm saying, I don't support what you do. It's just a matter of, this isn't going to be a good connection based off of just how we are doing shit and how we're moving. That one right there just became a whole thing. I was like, you know what? I resonate with this one. I resonate with this one because you have to sit and think about shit. Like, if you're like me, you're just always on the go, right? You're just like, okay, I always got something to do. I don't want to sit here and be sad. I'm going to go out with my friends, or, you know what I'm saying? It's something that you always have to do. In that moment that you do sit down and think, the mind is racing, that's good. It's good to know that the mind can race, right? Because some people don't fucking think at all. And that's crazy. All right, y'all. I'm 60 minutes in and still didn't hit it until now. Number 3, ask yourself, is what I'm holding on to also holding on to me? And answer yourself honestly. Yo, that is probably the most trickiest thing to ask yourself, because a lot of people don't want to do that. Yeah, is this relationship worth me crying every day? I'm holding on to something that I'm fighting for, something that isn't, you know, fighting for me. I'm fighting for someone that isn't fighting for me. So if you can answer that honestly, instead of forcing yourself to say, yes, this person does give a fuck, when in reality, you know, they don't, and they don't show you that, you're going to get far. We're not even going to dwell too much on that one, because that's simply up to you. Can't nobody tell you whether or not you want to move on, but it is important to acknowledge the shit that you can move on from. Number 4 is forgive yourself. Okay, it says, for your part in how things ended, just like how you forgave them for so many times. People will often put the blame on you. It's your fault that they reacted this way. It's your fault that they said these hurtful things to you. I hate this situation, but it's your fault that they put their hands on you. Now, that shit was always in them. Okay, that shit was always in them. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells you. It ain't your fault that these people decide to be monsters. Just like it's not anybody's fault when I choose to be irritated, right? Granted, people contribute to the irritation, but it's all about how you react and how you respond. I ain't listening to nobody who's blaming me for their reaction on certain things. That's just not how that shit goes. So stop blaming yourself for how people react and how people respond, and the fact that people just don't comprehend and understand the things that you typically do. That shit's just out the window, and I don't feel like anybody deserves to feel guilty upon anyone else's actions. Niggas have choices. Number 5 is ask yourself, why am I still holding on? Does it truly feel good, or is it just familiar? That kind of goes hand in hand with ask yourself. Number 3, like, it's for those of you who have been in those relationships for several years, right? You're honestly holding on to the time. You're not really holding on to the love or anything. You're holding on to the time that you've invested with specific people. That happens, you know what I'm saying? You've gotten content, you've gotten comfortable with being around somebody, because it is frustrating to get to know new people. It is frustrating to have to learn someone new, right? And teach someone, about you again. That can be very, very hard, but that's a part of growing, right? You're going to be, if you are looking to be an entrepreneur, if you are looking to be successful at all, you are going to have to realize that at some point you're going to have to collab and have conversations with new people, and those are people who don't know you at all. I've learned that quickly, right? I'm 27, and I'm like, I feel like I've always been mature. I feel like I've always had a very broad and extensive vocabulary. When I talk to people, my mind just goes very far. I think big as fuck, and my conversations are very intellectual. So I often find, in relationships, when I'm having conversations with people, it's like, I gotta realize too that these people come from a different world than I do, and that's okay. I'm just not going to get comfortable anymore, and I forced myself to not get comfortable in certain situations or be too content, because that also put me in a position to lack my progress, right? Position to not focus on my goals and my dreams. I was in relationships, girl, where I'd be away from home for days, months, okay, and really just be comfortable with the fact that I'm having so much fun in this relationship. I forgot that I actually need to work on myself. I forgot that I actually need to go to the studio, and like, it was just little things that I was putting off that I shouldn't have put off, and that shit put me in a really terrible position mentally, because at some point I was expecting for certain people to do things for me because that's what it had been. Nah, baby, that was me outgrowing them. And that shit's crazy when I think about it, because I was like, damn, this relationship is really, really cool. Like, I don't want to have to separate myself from this person, but it happens. Let's move on. Remember, okay, relationships don't need to last forever to serve their purpose. Baby, people come in your life for a reason and a season. I think Steve Harvey said that shit, but it was so true. Like, people come into your life at times for you to learn certain lessons. That's a part of having karmics. If you ain't learned the lesson, then you're going to continue to go through this cycle of the same shit, right? Meeting different people who hold the same quality, have an expand your process of thinking, let alone your type. For the longest, I had a type. Now, it wasn't necessarily how, he was looking or whatever, but I had a type in character, and I didn't realize I typically went for the bad boy, one who just, getting money, getting to it, but treating people shitty. Even though they weren't treating me shitty, they were treating other people shitty. And I was like, nah. As I started to be honest with people and tell them, like, look, I don't like that. This is maybe what you should do in order to see things differently. Motherfuckers became very, very offensive. And that's when I realized, you know what? I'm not the person to teach them anything at this moment. Baby, let me tell you how people have come back and been like, you know what? I sage now. or I went and picked up crystals, or I do this because of our relationship, which was something that was never acknowledged while we were together. Now that we are not, it's been several years for some people, okay? Now, you know, they're acknowledging the fact that they've picked up on the good habits that I was able to bring to that relationship. People are capable of learning certain things. It just may not be, you know, during the time of you being together. It's okay to realize, like, you know what? That was just a moment. That was something that I had to learn. I learned that I don't ever want to encounter that again. And again, a part of choices, right? Like, you just gotta fucking grow. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It was getting so goddamn hot back there. The sun was beaming. I know y'all was probably looking like, she's sitting in that goddamn sun. You ain't say nothing to me. Anyway, I'm in the garage, okay? Because it's cooler out here. I made me some coffee, so it is warm, girl. But we are going to hop straight back into the rest of these questions. I only have a few left. They're really not questions. They're just, you know, things to think about if you haven't caught on. But so the last one we were at was, remember, relationships don't need to last forever in order to serve their purpose. And again, you know what I'm saying? Recognize that some people are supposed to be in your life for a reason. And like I said, some for a season. So you learn lessons with people. You should be learning lessons with everyone. There are some people who are there to teach you something specific within that moment. Those are seasonal fucking people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not gonna be here for the spring, right? It's winter, so things are a little cold. It's a little icy. At the end of the day, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You're not going to, you know, not be able to succeed because that one specific person isn't capable of being in your life. There are going to be so many other people to encounter. The next one is number 7. Sometimes the only closure you'll get is accepting that the past can't change, and that's okay. Okay? I have spent so much time asking myself, why the hell did that happen? Why did I have to be the one to go through that weird ass shit? Why me? I think the more that I question why, and the more that I just didn't accept that it's something that happened and something I can't change, this entire time it's put me in this mind frame of holding back. I dwelled so much on certain things and why certain things didn't work out or why certain things went the way they did. I wasn't as focused on how I can just change what it is that I'm feeling, or how I can change my circumstances, my environment, or my process of thinking. Like, I wasn't focused on any of that. So you have to really understand, like, you know what? That shit happened, is out of my control. I've been holding on to this shit. Let it go, because the only thing it's gonna do is every time I think about it, right, it's gonna piss me off. That's me. Every time I think about this shit, it's gonna piss me off because I haven't truly let go of the feeling that came along with what happened or what took place. Like, I didn't let it go for real. If you're in a relationship or if you've taken someone back, I think the most important thing to ask yourself, and this is kind of on topic but off, is if you decide, you know what, I want to get back with this person from my past, have they earned their fucking keeps? Have they earned their spot? Like, is this real? Like, think about why you separated from this person. I'm not saying people don't change and people don't evolve and people don't grow and mature. That's what I'm saying. People can. There are people who get back with their exes all the time. But has that person earned their position in your life? Then we get back into a relationship. We're getting back into the same shit. Now you're back with this person and you're seeing things that were just like the last time you were together, plus some, right? Now people have evolved into like cheaters and all kinds of extra crazy shit, right? The world is full of narcissists. So people pick up habits and people change over the years. People change every day. I believe that. So just make sure that you are really asking yourself whether or not it doesn't have to be just a relationship where you are intimate with this person, but I just mean friends too. Does this person deserve a position back in your life, especially considering how far you've become? People change, so do you. So ask yourself that. Last but not least, okay, remember, letting go is also letting in. Okay, making room for something new is always hard, but it's worth it. So, boy, to close it out like this, right? It's like, sometimes you have to end certain things in relationships in order to gain from that and move in a different direction. Sometimes you have to let certain people go in order to make room for the people that deserve to be in your corner, in your space. And it is gonna suck. It does suck. It's like, damn, I would have never thought that I would have to end this relationship, or I would have never thought that I would have to have gone through all of this shit just to get here, right? That shit, the finish line, baby, is waiting on you. That's all I can say, because how many of you have been in a situation where at that time it's felt like the worst of the worst, and you've made it out of that, right? And you've been like, damn, what the fuck was I tripping for? It's the same fucking thing. If your intentions are set on having more, better, and being bigger and experiencing life, those are your intentions. You can't go wrong with the intentions that you set. The problem is people are not setting their intentions and being clear about what it is that they really want. People have this idea like, oh yeah, I would love to have that big ass house. Okay. Well, in the process of, wanting that big ass house, what are the steps that I'm about to take in order to make sure that I get that? People are just dreaming and hoping. And don't get me wrong, I dream all the time. Baby might be a little delusional, I dream so goddamn much, but my dreaming has gotten me far. I have left a $3 to almost $4 million corporate firm where I was, involved with some amazing people. And I decided to say, you know what, this separation, this thing that we have going on right here, this isn't working. I'm not liking this environment anymore. I like most of the people, but I'm about to make the decision to really go after my dream job, my dream goal. And I'm doing just that. Because things start off slow and because you don't see things happen overnight, doesn't mean that it's not working. It's worth it letting shit go, right? I let niggas dip. If you couldn't get with me, you had to go. Like, I wasn't going to be emotionally tied to people that just were not in the space to be there for me. So once I let that go, I ended up being able to encounter people who were like in the same position as me. Like, look, I don't want nothing more than just a friend. I don't want nothing more than just a listening ear, right? I don't want to have to force people to, like I said in the beginning, love me. Right? I think that I am a great person. People often gravitate toward me naturally, even on my worst days. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, whoa, hold up. I don't necessarily want to deal with nobody. People like, no, but you're dealing with me today. What's up? I like that. I'm cool with that. But where I'm at in life right now has just taught me, like, the friends that I had 5-6 years ago are, when I, because social media, you can see what everybody's fucking doing. Not that I'm going to go check, but it's there. You in the same city, you come across people who know people, whatever. They're not doing what the hell I'm doing. Okay? The niggas I was in relationships with are not doing what I'm doing. So that just tells me, had I stayed trying to force those relationships, I'd be there. Not discrediting, what they have going on, because everybody has some other shit going on, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, my mental has always been different. And I feel like a lot of people are like that, where it's just like, that you've always been just different, right? You've always just thought a little bit ahead of the game, right? If not a lot ahead of the game. So stop wasting your potential and pushing yourself back to hold on to people and things, right? If it don't make sense, it don't make sense. Don't force that shit. It's all going to be worth it in the end when you can sit there and say, you know what? I wish you the best and I wish myself even better. You have to. I think a lot of people hold on to this thing of like, I don't want people to think that I'm like too consumed in myself. I do. I want people to know that I am so invested in myself that I will drop you if you are not beneficial to my happiness. I do. Baby, I'm not about to sit here and pretend like everything's okay when it's not. I ain't got time for that no more. If I'm going to share my time with someone right now, this person has to be here or here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm okay with that person having lows. When I say here or here, because a lot of y'all gonna be like, oh my God, shut up. My point is, I need somebody who understands that I need time for myself. I am invested in myself. I am falling in love with myself, right? I am in love with myself. Like, I need someone who understands that I'm going to focus on what I have to do by any means necessary. At any point, this person feels like, you know what, Kia needs to drop everything that she has going on right now and focus just on me. Fuck what she got going on. Forget what she feel. It doesn't matter. Baby, you bye. What are we even doing here? I can't. Which means that that person would have had to go through something in life to put them in the same mindset. It's not always going to be the case. Again, I'm going to reiterate, that person may have their ups and downs, as I will too, but it just has to be an understanding that I can't be with someone who doesn't want me to focus on my dreams and my goals. That shit is crazy to me. At the end of the day, letting go is hard. Letting go isn't going to be easy. Letting go is an experience. Letting go is supposed to be a lesson. I hope, and I truly, truly hope that this helps somebody. I feel like you know, we will be having more of these little like sit down stand up sessions, because I have a lot of things that run through my mind, and I often come across a lot of people who are having just this problem. Letting go and allowing themselves to grow. Be done with this video. I truly hope that you all enjoyed this. Again, if you haven't already gone to check out my vlog channel, be sure that you go and check that out. If you have any questions, you guys are always more than welcome to hit my Instagram, which will be at the bottom of this screen, okay? I am always here to answer questions and help you guys get through anything. Personal readings are still taking place. I do 30-minute sessions for $25. I also do an hour for $50. That is my aqua therapy session, or just my general therapy session for anybody who just wants to read. But baby, we break things down and we really get deep into what it is that you are working on and how you're healing. So I want to leave everybody here on that note. Learn how to let go, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.